Well, it's time to harvest the peas here. And if you recall, remember I put this grow pipe in, and they're growing quite well, and they are. But as you can see, well, the grow pipe is a success, let me put it that way. It really worked well. But there was one problem, and it was with the kind of peas that I planted. Now, what I did, let me bring you over here a little closer. Because as you can see, the peas here are growing really, really well. And these here, you know, I had to give them the haircut like I showed you before, because the roots started plugging these things up, plugging the grow pipe up. And same over here, but either way, you can see that they grew quite well. And I had a disappointing problem. And here it is right here. As you can see, the pea pods are not really, you know, great big peas. They grew. There's a lot of them. And some of them you can, if you can find the bigger ones, yeah, there's a bigger one right there. Well, the problem is that the variety of peas that I planted was called dun peas. And dun peas, I looked them up. Should have done this before I got started. But I looked them up, and here's some more over here. As you can see, there's some peas down here. As I looked them up, and what they're mainly for is planting as a fodder to plow under in your field. They're not meant really to eat, because I guess they don't. The fruits aren't that good, and here's the proof. Anyway, so when you plant your peas or whatever you plant, make sure you look at the research what you got. I think where I got these from. Let's see. Here's a whole bunch of little pods up here, and some right here. Where I got these from, I had a big bag of peas that I bought, and I'd forgotten that I bought them to make sprouts out of, pea sprouts, pea shoots, basically to microgreens, you know what they call that. And boy, did they work for that. They're just delicious when they sprout about this high and you cut them. They're just absolutely delicious. But the same peas don't do well here. So anyway, word to the wise. Make sure you know what you're planting, because peas, even something as simple as peas, they have different varieties that aren't that good. But anyway, we got beans growing down here. Let me show you. Now, the second thing that's coming up here is beans. As you can see, these beans are really doing well. And there's a big old tomato plant right there. That's going to climb up here. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and let's go around the other side here, and I'll show you. Well, here's the other peas, the dun peas that are growing in this grow raft, floating raft assembly. As you can see, the peas just love this. I mean, the plants are just growing crazy. Now, of course, I didn't have to give these roots a haircut, but as you can see, they really, really like to grow in this environment. So maybe if we still have time in the season, I'll plant some other peas in here that actually you can eat. And the same thing with this. This one's kind of leaning over because I had to pick it up off the ground, because it just leaned all the way over down here and was hanging down, so I had to push it up. But same thing here. The peas are there. They're not really good for eating. Not enough of them. But as you can see, they grew all the way up to the top. But down here is what I was going to show you. See, there's beans growing, climbing beans. See, and you can see there's one here that's climbed. See, right up here. That's where it is. Same thing here, but this one is clear up to here. See, so these beans are climbing, and they're doing well. And these are planted. Let's see. Here's one up to here, and there's some more. Here's one here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, look at this. Boy, this one's climbing. I gotta be careful when I see. This one's climbed up here, and it's intertwined itself in here, in on these old pea plants. So when I pull these out, I better be careful not to just jerk some of these bean plants out of here. Let's see if I can undo this one around here. There you can see there's one. And we'll just try to thread it in there. Well, we'll fix that later, but the idea is to try to thread it in there in the mesh there. Okay, anyway, but you can see they're growing well. The beans are coming up, and then I've got some other beans here. These are yard-long beans. I planted them a little later. They're just coming up. I think they like it a little hotter, so maybe they'll do better when it's hotter. Anyway, that's the lesson for today. Plant the right kind of peas if you actually want to eat them. But, yeah, you live and learn. I guess be a little more careful.